one of the main ways in which we have tried to add value is through the thematic work. And that started by asking all the projects what their conception of learning was, because there were lots and lots of different views, and we had conferences about that. And from that, we developed the kind of little model, a very simple model of teaching and learning, which we've used as a conceptual model for more detailed thematic work. And that's also underpinned DSpace and its meta language and so on. And from that conceptualization, which was negotiated in these conferences in the early days when I took it on, from that we've developed more specific thematic investments, and that's enabled us to not only involve people from within our funded projects, but researchers who were not funded by TLRP in that way, and users and others who've got involved. So it enabled us to be a bit more kind of inclusive and a bit more expansive as a programme. And it provided some intellectual focus for people from different experiences, people from different sectors, different research approaches, different theoretical positions, and they came together to worry away about user engagement or lifelong learning or whatever the thematic topic actually was. So I think that gave us some shared activity and a shared experience, and I think has helped in building the sense of community and a shared purpose in the programme. But it also meant that gradually we were able to work out together what we thought the programme was saying overall. So from the thematic investments, when the directors team got together, myself and Mary and Miriam and Alan and all the others who've been involved over the years, we worried away at, well, what does this sort of add up to overall? And that's where the idea of having these 10 principles about effective teaching and learning came from, building on the thematic work and the conferences that everybody had been involved in, but us then trying to fulfill our responsibility to try to make sense of it as a whole. And of course, as we began to make sense of it, we fed that back to our colleagues to say, well, do you think this stacks up? And they would say, well, not quite here and there. And so we'd alter it and move it around in a kind of iterative way until we got to a point where we thought, that is not perfect, but it'll probably do. It's the best we can manage. And so we were able to then, write it up in attractive ways in the commentaries and in publications for different sectors and push it out much more broadly. And I think those that risk-taking in a way to make an impact, simplifying academic arguments and presenting them in as attractively as we could, we've been prepared to take those risks, knowing that that's what they were, that we were cutting corners, and in an academic paper it would all be qualified, but it wasn't. We were making it simpler, more direct, and the commentaries, of which we seem to now amazingly have done nearly 15, I think, have been very effective at taking our analysis in a more attractive way out to a broader public. And we're very pleased that that's come about in that way. Of course, we've also had the book series, 2 book series, and research briefings, of which there seem to be over 70 now. I say seem to be because one of the nice things about this programme is that it started to take on a kind of momentum of its own, and these numbers of outputs have kind of grown as the people involved in the programme have started to take the initiative and generate their own. So I'm not kind of having to pull the strings anymore, if you see what I mean, because it's working as an organisation that's almost self-generating material. Of course, it's a pity that having got it into that stage, that we're going to end it. And that is, I think, a shame, because education and research has developed a lot, and the infrastructure of TLRP has demonstrated what's possible with an infrastructure. And sadly, we can't sustain it any longer. But I'm very pleased that these ideas are being taken up by other organisations, such as BERA, SHRE, and I think a number of different departments around the country, in education departments, are aware of what TLRP has done and will, adapt and develop strategies which have a sort of echo, and we watch that with great interest.